everyone, it's Froggy, and I'm back again with another episode of C14 Dating. So now that we've finished with DeAndre's route, we're going to be starting with Hendrik. So I know we've seen most of these options already, but I want to just be able to go through everything right from the get-go. So we are going to go ahead and get permission before handling the rocks. I should ask first before I start picking up museum property. Nestled against the wall was a small table. Usually it was bare, but now there was a laptop with someone seated in front of it. Excusez-moi.
Oui? Comment puis-je t'aider?
Je ne parle pas français.
Sherry's student, I presume.
He approached me casually and stood beside the table. Yes, I'm Melissa Flores, studying under Sherry. Pleased to meet you. He offered his left hand, and I accepted it with a firm shake.
Hendrik Lukenhuis, I don't know, at your service.
Hendrik, the geologist? Augustine's nephew?
That's me. I was supposed to be here earlier, but was caught in a landslide of work back in Germany. Thought I'd catch up on a few things before Monday.
He jetted his chin toward the samples.
Were you going to ask about those?
Yes. I didn't want to poke around without permission. Can I?
Feel free to look around if you'd like.
Merci. I picked a rock up, the one labeled calcaire. This material was everywhere in the cave, limestone. I placed it down and examined the one beside it labeled shale. Where did this collection come from? From one of the cabinets?
It's mine, actually. Many of the rocks are ones that I've dug up or personally found. I thought it'd be nice to have some examples to show the students here. Especially if they can't tell the difference between chert and shale yet.
And what is the difference? He eagerly motioned me over to the tray, picked up a dark rock and offered it to me. It felt grainy in my hand.
First off, shale is composed of silt and clay, and it's a very soft rock. You've probably seen shale around road cuts or by riverbanks. And this is chert. You can already note the waxy luster, and it's much harder than shale.
I held the sample in my other hand. It also felt smoother than shale, almost like glass.
This is what you need to keep an eye out for. A lot of stone tools were crafted out of chert. Fortunately, they tend to stand out like new when you uncover them.
I can tell you've given this lecture many times. I'm guessing most students here have never worked with rocks before.
Yep. Many are into art, computers, or music.
I returned the rocks to their rightful spot. What were you doing in Germany?
Pretty much what I do here. Supervise excavators, examine and compile soil samples, figure out the stratigraphy. I essentially chalk out a map of the cave to study the sediments and its history.
That sounds difficult. You'd think sedimentary formations would be more straightforward. Older on the bottom and more recent on top.
You'd think, but geology is never that nice and easy. How to best describe this? Do you like cake? I enjoy it sometimes. Of course I like cake. Yeah, puns.
Cake? Of course I like cake. He chuckled at my pun. At least he appreciated the silly effort.
You'll be able to follow along then. It's pretty sedimentary after all. What are the chances that you've tried Prinzergittentort? I have no idea.
Very low. Non-existent, in fact.
Then Black Forest? Less layers than I'd like, but you get the idea.
Yes, I'm familiar with it. It'll work as long as I picture a multi-layered cake, right?
Exactly. Cakes are like basic sediments. Consistent layers and patterns all around. Unlike cake, stratigraphy is a complex puzzle.
Hendrik made multiple slices in the air with his hand, gradually lowering the elevation each time to emphasize the point.
Layers are slanted due to how they were deposited, whether by alluvial, means weathering, freeze-thaw, gravity, cave-ins, the list goes on. And then, just as a sediment starts to settle, a river or flood may come in and wash the top surfaces away, leaving nothing but portions of the same layer in isolated pockets. Badgers and other burrowing animals cut through layers, disrupting sediments further. Or something drastic could take place, like an earthquake, creating faults and misaligned sediments. Therefore, it's up to me to figure it out. Hope I didn't bore you. People have always said I'm married to my job.
It wasn't boring at all. Honest. If anything, it made me realize how much work goes into understanding the cave's history.
It's definitely not easy, but I enjoy the challenge of piecing information together. Since I'm here, I'll be available if you have any other questions or inquiries.
You finished the last sentence like a well-rehearsed routine. How long have you worked here?
Me? Let me think. Nearly 4 years now? I helped my uncle during the summer, and then hopped to a few other caves depending on their excavating schedules.
After a glance upward, his eyes widened and he slapped his forehead.
Ah, I'm supposed to be in Nemours soon. I hope I didn't startle you earlier. My uncle did mention there'd be a student staying here on the weekend, but it slipped my mind.
Nah, it's fine. It was nice finally meeting you, Hendrik.
Likewise.
I'll be sure to ask you if I have any other geology questions.
That's what I'm here for. I'll see you on Monday. Oh, Hendrik, you're so cute. Alright, I'm skipping up. Alright, we got a new cutscene here. Although I think we've seen it before, but we'll go on with it anyways.
What kind of bone is this? A tooth? It was the size of the palm of my hand, with wave-like ridges on the outside. Who should I ask?
We're gonna ask Hendrik.
Hendrik may be a geologist, but he should be familiar with bones too. Hey Hendrik, I have a question.
Sure, how can I help?
Do you know what this is? I offered it to him, and he held it between his finger and thumb, examining it closely.
This is...
Yes?
not a rock.
He casually dropped it onto my outstretched hand. You have no idea.
Nope, my expertise lies in geology and geology alone. He is not interested in anything that used to be alive, or is still living for that matter. What's that supposed to mean? You know what I mean. You are too absorbed in your work to never show interest in other people, especially.
Augustin, do you know what bone this is?
You seen one silly colondonta antiquitas upper molar, you've seen them all.
I see, thanks. A student raised her hand and Augustin wandered off to help. Hendrik scratched his cheek sheepishly.
Thanks for changing the subject.
No problem. I had a feeling you didn't want your personal life brought up in front of a student.
The perks of working with family. I swear, we're professional most of the time. Oh, and Coelendonta antiquitatis, I don't know, is woolly rhinoceros.
Hey, you do know some stuff outside geology.
I'm surprised as you are. I guess I have an inkling of non-geology knowledge buried in my head after all. Well, we haven't seen that one before, so it was new. Hooray! Alright, skipping up. Alright, and we're back, and this is just after she had her incident with the hypoglycemia thing. So we are going to retire to the indoor lab.
I'm going to go inside for a bit. I need air conditioning. Which was true. During the whole episode, I'd been sweating. It would be ideal to get out of the sun. DeAndre and Kyler exchanged glances while Joan was hesitant. Kyler nodded understandingly while the other two were torn with my wish.
You'll be fine by yourself?
Of course, promise. I'm sure someone will check up on me. That seemed to pacify DeAndre, and he nodded before following Kyler back to the kitchen. Joan stood up, then looked at me expectantly. Joan, thanks for grabbing the jus de pomme. I lifted up the cup for clarification. She nodded eagerly.
Okay, so this is obviously wrong. It says Shoji here, but I'm pretty sure this is supposed to be Joan, since it's in her color and everything.
I'm glad you're okay. I will tell Sherry, though. She should know. That's for the best. Thank you, Joan. She left, and while I forced myself to move, cup in hand. Once inside the lab, I slumped down in the nearest seat and sprawled my upper torso across the table. It felt cool to my forehead, and I groaned loudly. Stupid, 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 stupid. Stupid, stupid.
What's stupid?
Hendrik poked in around the door, then approached the table where I could see him.
Don't hate me if I repeat an overused question. How are you feeling, Melissa? What happened back there, if you don't mind me asking? The students were all alarmed, but I told them to let you be. Didn't think more crowding would have helped the situation.
Right. Everyone witnessed my episode. I now wanted to dig a hole and crawl into it. I closed my eyes and moved my face until it touched another cool portion of the table. Sugar levels got low and I needed something sweet. I'm good now.
Says the girl practically plastered to the table.
I sat back up to convince him otherwise. Could you do me a favor? Sorry for the inconvenience.
By all means, inconvenience me.
My diabetic bag is in my tent. It's green and should be on my mattress. I'll be needing it. My tent is the yellow one against the building, to the left side.
Of course.
After a few minutes, he returned and started unzipping the bag.
Anything else?
No, you've done more than enough, Hendrik. Thank you. I can take it from here.
Just holler if you need me.
With that, he departed, probably to appease the students' concerns. I heard the museum door open and expected it to be Hendrik for a split second. There you are.
And it's Sherry, so we've seen this, so I'm going to go ahead and end this episode here for today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you want to see more videos from me, then don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.